This is a dynamic warm-up. If you're still doing static stretching before your workouts or sports, please stop. It's been shown in studies to decrease force production. We want to prepare the body for movement with movement. So here's our dynamic warm-up for you you can use before you do workouts or sports. First one here is alternating quad pull. We're just pulling up on the foot, trying to bring it all the way into the glute, alternating side to side. So it's just a quick little pull, switch to the other side. Keep your abs tight, glutes flex, and try to pull that heel all the way into the glute. Go for about 10 on each side. Next is the alternating toe touch. So you're going to bring your right hand down to your left foot and your left hand down towards your right foot, keeping your leg as straight as you can and your arm as straight as you can through the movement here. You're going to feel that core activation. You're going to feel those sliding surfaces in the hamstrings working. You're going to feel the shoulders working. It's a nice little full body dynamic warm-up movement here. Showing you the same thing from the side. Notice I'm trying to keep that leg as straight as I can, keep that arm as straight as I can, bringing those arms up straight above the head after each repetition. And it's a quick movement. It's not a static movement. We're preparing the body for movement with movement here. All right, next in our dynamic warm-up, we're doing the alternating figure four. So we're actually trying to pull the lower leg up towards the sky. And notice I'm pulling on my lower leg and ankle area. I'm not pulling up on the foot. That's important. And we're trying to get that lower leg to parallel to the ground if possible. You can see here my left hip is not quite as flexible as my right hip. I'm getting my right leg almost parallel to the floor and my left leg not quite. So a mobility opportunity for me there. So you can see if on yourself if one side is tighter than the other. But we're just trying to mobilize the hips a little bit here, get them ready for running and squats and lunges and all that good stuff. And again, it's an alternating movement. We're not pausing and holding. We want to prep that body for movement with movement. Next, we're moving into our alternating archer squat. So for these, we're going to have our feet wider than hip width, toes facing forward, and we're going to move into that single leg squat. Now, as you move into that single leg squat, that opposing leg is going to be straight and you're going to roll onto that heel. So you can see that leg is going straight out, rolling onto the heel, and we're trying to get down into a nice deep single leg squat on the other side. All right, next we're moving into a alternating heel paddle. So great exercise to mobilize and warm up the soleus and gastrocnemius muscles in the lower leg. Also warms up the muscles in the feet as well. So we're just basically driving our upper body into the wall, or you can use a bar. You can even go against the floor if you'd like. But we're just trying to push one heel into the floor and get a nice little momentary stretch across the soleus and calf muscles there. Alternating side to side, keeping it moving. And then next is our front leg swing, another really good one for getting the sliding surfaces in the hamstrings and hips warmed up. So for this, you want to point your toe out in front of you. You can use something to hold on to like I am here. We'll show you the same thing from the side. You can do the same movement without holding on. It just requires a little bit more stability since you'll be on one leg. But pointing that toe out in front of you as you swing it forward, and then just naturally let that knee bend back behind you, getting that nice full leg swing, not just in front, but back behind the body as well, just like you're punting a football. So this is one that we're doing one leg at a time, obviously. So you want to get 10 repetitions on each leg. Make sure you get 10 on the right leg out in front and then 10 on the left leg out in front. So we've swung the leg out in front of the body and behind the body. Now we're going to swing it outside and inside, or adduction, abduction. So here we're going to do same thing, 10 on the right side, 10 on the left side, and we're sweeping that leg out in front of the body, pointing the toes to the sky, and swinging the leg out to the side of the body, pointing the toes to the sky. So that foot turns through. Showing you the same thing in front here with the left leg. We're going to point those toes up to the sky on the outside, swing it around in front of the body, and then point the toes up to the sky on the other side. So this is a great way to warm up those adductor muscles on the inside of the leg and abductor muscles out on the outside. All right, next we're doing some heel sits here. These can help us understand the story of our knees and hips for the day. So basically, we're just going to be resting on our lower leg on the ground, knees together and feet together. The top of the foot's going to be flat on the ground. And we're just going to go all the way up until our upper leg and upper body are perpendicular to the ground. And then just sink those hips straight down. Try to get your glutes to evenly sink down and touch your heels. If your hips or knees are barking, that is telling you a story about how you may need to change your workout for the day based on what you're training or what you're doing. So again, showing you the same thing from the side. We're just trying to get 10 nice repetitions here. Sinking those glutes and hips straight down equally, left side at the same height as the right side. Alrighty, next is the back bridge. Awesome dynamic movement for the spine, core, and shoulders. And so for this, we're just going to have our feet flat. We're going to rotate our hands around so that our fingers are facing back towards our heels. And we're just going to drive our hips and shoulders and head up off the ground. Do a little pause and then come back down. So again, hands are going to be flat on the floor, feet flat, rotate those hands around, drive that head up and hips up, high as you can, quick pause, come back down. All right, and we're finishing up with a squat hold, a really nice way to round out your dynamic warm-up. These can tell a great story about, of course, what your squats are going to look like today, what your jumping is going to look like, what your sprinting is going to look like based on the strength and tissue quality in your lower body. So here we're going to have our feet at hip width apart, toes facing forward. We'll show you the same thing from the side here. And we're going to drive those knees out as we squat down. Try to keep your back straight, neck in a neutral position, and then we're just going to push those arms up above the head, see what our shoulder mobility is like as well. Do a little pause down there at the bottom for 10 seconds, come right back up. So we just need 2 of those. And that's the end of the dynamic warm-up.